Calling all Jan Michael Vincent. Calling all Jan Michael Vincent.
Well, I've always been a big fan of Rick and Morty, and I've been a real fan of their whole universe that they have, and just how creative everything is. And especially with this, the Jan Quadrant Vincent 16 trailer, how it kind of just seemed like they came up with that out of nowhere. But it's really funny, but at the same time, it definitely takes from a lot of the action movies that we see and that we know of, and it's kind of a satire on that.
I need a goddamn Jan Michael Vincent!
My involvement was pretty heavy, seeing as though I played Jan Michael Vincent, the title character. So yeah, very involved. I think I was there for probably 95% of the scenes, right? And yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. I was there from the very beginning to the very end, and I saw every aspect. I saw all the edits. I was there again almost every day. I oversaw the whole thing from the birthing stages to the end.
Yeah, especially if you already have a shadow, it like totally works.
Yeah. Cool. Perfect. Your stuff. By the way, apparently, baby wipes work great for taking off makeup.
Yeah, they do. They work for everything, man.
I have an excess of plot.
I think the trailer bit within Rick and Morty is one of the funniest bits of the whole show. It's just such a nonsensical, random, clearly improvised, sequence that the animators just did a fantastic job bringing to life. So once he showed me that's what he was thinking of making, I was all in because, yeah, I love it. And it would be so cool to make that come to life and do it in sort of a loving homage, way where I think people would understand that this is all about the love of the show and the creativity and ingenuity that went into that, and we're just trying to hopefully spread that out across even more of a bigger audience. So yeah, it was really exciting to come on board.
I'll say Greg. Well, actually, I'll say Greta look, and then as soon as her eye line goes up here, then that's when you turn around. Because see, I'll be like, I'll say Greta look, and then Greta looks, and then yeah.
They talked to us about it, and we were all really gung-ho about jumping into doing something like this because it's a lot different than most of us have ever done. Like, most of it is shot on a green screen, and most of the stuff that we usually do is, out in the open and, practical sets and not a lot of green or blue screen. So it was really interesting to kind of jump into that kind of project. And one of my most prominent roles, which you will see, is of the alien judge that convicts Jan Michael, which I had a blast doing. We started about 8 o'clock, and I think we started shooting that scene at like 1:30, and I was done by 2, because it's such a quick scene, but it needs to look authentic. It needs to look as believable as the actual cartoon is. So in order to do that, it takes a lot of time.
4 o'clock. 4 hours.
Oh, damn.
4.5.
I refuse to sign the legislation that allows more than 8 Jan Michael Vincents to a precinct.
So you kind of do that, and then it's like, what?
I refuse to sign the legislation that allows more than 8.
Okay, and you jump and then turn. My favorite part of the project was probably shooting this. I had a lot of fun doing all the shots with all the actors and kind of positioning them, and actually getting a lot of them into the whole Rick and Morty show, because some of them weren't familiar with the show or they've heard of it, and they were just like, oh, what is this? This is really funny that they're doing. And so it was really fun just to bring the actors into kind of the whole Rick and Morty world, and get into Greg more.
At Squish,
Yeah.
I am a huge fan of the show, so when I found out that we were doing this, I agreed almost immediately. I know that the fans of the show are very particular, so we definitely worked really hard to make everything spot on and perfect. So the whole thing, the whole aspect of it was amazing.
Like scrunch into him more. Okay, ready? You guys had the perfect look.
Just say action.
Okay. And action. Okay, cut. Good. Okay, so a lot more aggressive. So it's like almost like headbutting him, but
You know, the style that we went with was more like kind of Chris Nolan. It was very gritty. So to maintain some kind of balance between that and like how ridiculous and satirical the whole thing was kind of hard. But I think we hit the nail on the head.
let me try one from my way. So Greg, you're gonna look this way now.
Yeah, so just flip her.
And go ahead, Greg.
And be at 2
Give me the stick. Okay, so you guys are all really pissed. And you're like this. You're like, guys, you're like, and you're just gonna take a few steps that way, okay?
Okay, right?
Ryan, bring it in. Okay. Okay, ready?
Ready?
And hold on.
All right, ready?
Okay, and so on 1, 2, 3, lift him, and then take 2 steps. And then cut. Okay. 1, 2, 3, lift, and then 2 steps. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so Greg, just take an inch step back so you can step forward a little. All right, and action. No, whoa. Don't act. All you're gonna do is just your hands, so you're just gonna drop down. Good. Good, one more time.
Michael Vincent's Quadrant E.
and 16.
Yeah, except bring it more up rather than back.
Yeah, you're not like attacking. I always think more of
So you're like,
calling
you're,
the charge, almost like, let's go!
Yeah, you're
calling the rebellion in.
You don't have to freeze. You can be like, like kind of look around. Good.
To a precinct!
The other favorite part was just getting to think creatively and solve problems, because a lot of these shots, especially the visual effects side, we didn't have really a strong idea of what we were going to do. It was all just sort of we will figure it out, and I think we did. I think we figured it out, and I think it worked pretty well.
Alright, I'm just gonna roll on this real fast just to see. Go for it. Bang, bang. Alright, look. Cool. Yeah, that should be good. Alright.
Oh, this would have been easier? Okay, never mind. Just do this.
And this is right up there with the courtroom scene with exciting footage today.
Right. And then crouch your knees a little bit, kind of like you're...
Like I'm shooting.
Like that. Kind of like at a little angle. Like, yeah. Put that here. Boom. So when you go back, try not to flail this arm out as much.
Oh, okay.
Boom. So remember, try not to flail this arm.
Not all.
Yeah, so just kind of like, you can flail your arm up, just not out.
Oh yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Jan Michael.
Maybe we could get a top down of him running that way, so on the bridge and doing like
Oh, that'd be cool.
this. Kissing back there? No. Oh yeah, this is should run the Gatorade. Or not, No.
I've been designated to keep watch, make sure that no one comes upon our filming. There's only one person, but he's like very far away, so we'll probably be okay.
Action.
Yeah, it's truly a gift.
This is for if you get a little wet.
Oh, I'd be so lucky.
Working with the actors, getting all the shots, and kind of trying to think of what it would look like before it even went into post-production, that was probably my favorite part.
Quadrant.
Try a little bit faster if you can, but again, we can speed it up.
I'm trying not to spray it everywhere. As well as I
And
can.
action. Cut, great. Okay.
All right, quick, get it back in there.
So go. Oh, shit. What was this? God damn it.
We're in the actual shot though, which worked.
I would just torso, Greg. When you lean back, yeah, just like that. And action. Hey man, what the fuck are you doing? And blah. Cut. Great. In 3, 2, 1, action. That looks great.
When we decided to basically shoot, I'd say 95% of the short on blue screen and green screen, that both limited us and opened up tons of new doors, because when you're taking the background out and adding your own things, kind of gives you limitless control over what you'd like to incorporate, but then again, you have to make it photorealistic, so it was all about finding backgrounds, elements, things that would spice the scene up and make it look like an actual still frame from a motion picture.
Every walk had to be very, obviously it had to be similar, but there had to be little nuances, so they all had to be just a little bit different from one another.
We need 1 Jan Michael Vincent to Quadrant C. We need 2.
We wanted to create something that they would love.
Here, I don't do this anymore.
Yeah, I was like this.
Someone hand his hand.
Yeah, so just follow his hand.
your hand.
And action.
Alright.
So
Your mic swing in a little bit
tippy
closer
toes
to me.
And
Bring your arm in closer. Yeah. Okay.
look from left to right down on the city. Okay, go ahead. The hardest part of the whole thing was probably trying to make this look like a real movie trailer, because a lot of people do shot-by-shot remakes of stuff, which we kind of wanted to do, but at the same time, we wanted to, some people on the crew call it Christopher Nolifying it, where they bring kind of an animated world or an animated product and they make it into this real-life live action and kind of a real-world product.
Calling all Jan Michael Vincents.
Jan Michael Vincent, calling all Jan Michael Vincent.
All right, that's a shoe wrap on
Untitled Jan Michael Vincent project.
Yeah, you need to